The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
I'm your girl, the plainest Jane, and let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. What up and welcome back. I'm Jane, the plainest Jane, and I dish syrup in the form of black news and celebrity updates. Everyone come on in, hit the thumbs up button. Listen, when I tell you to keep your notifications turned on, that's exactly what I mean. So of course you should subscribe to the channel, but also you want to hit that notification bell so that anytime I go live, you are getting the syrup first. Other channels dish the tea, some dish the 411, baby. Over here, it is hot syrup. This is my third time being live about this today. I'm extremely drawn to and dedicated towards the stories. For some reason or another, it reminds me of another high-profile celebrity case that I have covered and been accredited for in the New York Times. So we're going to refer to the New York Times today in order to go over this settlement. Okay, so Cassie and Diddy have reached a quote-unquote amicable settlement pertaining to this alleged $30 million lawsuit based on allegations of gRAPE, okay, and physical mistreatment, should I say. We're in the first couple minutes of the video. You know how it goes. Come on in, hit thumbs up on the video. I'm dedicated to keeping you all informed on the latest, down to the minute, when it comes to this. So it is 12:22 over here in Baltimore, Maryland, over on the East Coast, East Standard Time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We are going to get right into this. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my moderators. Shout out to my channel members, the people in the Discord, Tamika's Den, the Thais Report. I appreciate y'all being here early, and we have some stuff to go over. Leo, can you move, please? Thank you. Hey, can you move? You wait till we go live with some breaking information in the middle of the night before everybody else gets it. All right. Now, you know, I have to read through things several times before I bring it to y'all. So this is pretty early for me because I typically like to sit on my information a bit longer. But this is still pretty much breaking news that broke within the hour. So you're getting it here first. And, you know, I talk to some legal experts before I come and bring you the information that I have, just to make sure that I have a cohesive understanding of what it is that we're going to be going over. So come on in, share this video via text message, via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, your group chats, however it is that you share videos. Make sure you share this thing with somebody. We're definitely going to get into it because, listen, things are always sticky in Hollywood in real life, and we're going to get down to the bottom of the syrup. Both parties have released statements, and I want to get into those, and I really want to know what you think. Here's the question that I want to place at the top of this story, because I see that there's some mixed reviews when it comes to this. Okay, so I want to know if you think that Diddy feels scared, or if he feels like his career or his reputation is in limbo, is threatened by this lawsuit that has been placed against him by Cassie. And this is the reason why we reached a settlement so quick. I mean, it was just yesterday, right? It was basically just yesterday that this thing, that this happened. So even though it's after midnight now, when this news broke, it was before midnight. So she filed the lawsuit one day, it's being settled the next day. Some people think that Cassie was cornered and she feels like that her safety, right? She felt like her safety was threatened, and that she's also kind of scared or apprehensive about what may come out in cross-examination. Other people feel like, you know, and that Cassie was kind of pressured into the settlement, because it's no secret that word on the curb is that when Diddy is uncomfortable with somebody or displeased with somebody releasing information about him that doesn't put him in a flattering light, their life is in jeopardy, right? I'll Be Sure fell into a coma. Kim Porter fell into pneumonia. She passed. And, so a lot of people feel like a lot of people that Diddy knows ended up unalived, right? So people feel like it's a reasonable fear. And a lot of people feel like, I hope that Cassie is okay. So do you think that it's Diddy that is afraid that this has hit the media in such a way? Diddy is already losing businesses and venues, and contracts are being canceled based on the egregious accusations within this bombshell 35-page lawsuit that outlines a lot. We read through all of the 35 pages of court documents earlier this morning, so check that video out if you have not already. It was more disgusting than I thought it was, okay? But the question that I want to ask you before we get into the settlement, the statements from both sides and how they claim it was an amicable settlement, do you think that Diddy was the one scared or felt like his career was threatened or his reputation? And if this did go to trial and he fought it, right, and refused to settle, then the evidence, the legal discovery would then become public. Everything else is public. So if they went through discovery, clearly Cassie felt like she had a strong case. If she didn't have a strong case, P. Diddy wouldn't have settled, in my opinion. Right. So had they went through discovery, do you know how every stone was unturned with the R. Kelly trial? Every single thing that went into discovery with R. Kelly, it came out in the media. Is P. Diddy ready from that? And does he feel like his career can recover from that? Not to mention the complications of the alleged criminal investigation that has since been recanted by the NYPD, which is extremely strange. Was Diddy afraid for his career and his reputation and he wanted to just throw some money at this to make it go away? Or was Cassie the one that felt scared or in fear of her life or threatened when it comes to her safety or cross-examination? Cross-examination can be very nasty, even if you were an absolute victim to the situation, right? DV is a very complex and difficult thing. On average, it takes a victim of DV 7 times to try to leave before they actually get out. So when you go under cross-examination, a lot of the nasty things that they throw at you are things such as, well, why did you stay? Well, why did you listen? Well, why did you do this? Why didn't you just leave? As if it's that simple. Do you think that she's afraid of cross-examination and afraid for her safety? Which one is it? So do you think that Diddy was the one that was more so scared or afraid and that's why we're at this settlement? Or do you think that Cassie is the one that's more so scared or afraid and that's why we're at this settlement? If you think that Diddy was more so the one scared, please put a 1 in the chat. And that's why we're at this settlement, because Diddy was scared and afraid for his career. Do you feel like, and if you feel like Cassie was more so the one afraid for her safety and cross-examination, put a 2 in the chat. Who do you think was more afraid? Who do you think really buckled under the pressure and saying, you know what, this isn't worth it. I don't want the public in all this. Put a 1 if you think Diddy was the one who was afraid and scared for his career and his reputation and what's going to happen next. Put a 2 if you think it was Cassie who was the one who was more afraid. And some people feel like her back was up against the wall and that's why she settled. Some people I've seen even in the chat before we got started with the live, they felt like, oh, he must have cornered Cassie. I don't like this. He must have threatened her. So put a 1 if you think that Diddy was afraid and he said, you know what, let's settle this because I don't want to go any further. Put a 2 if you think Cassie said, okay, let's settle this because this is too much pressure. I always implore you to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. My personal opinion is, and mind you, Cassie had the attorney that took down Harvey Weinstein. So it's a smooth mixture of 1s and 2s. I do believe I see more 1s. I see more 1s than 2s in the chat. I do see some 2s, I must acknowledge. But I definitely see more 1s than 2s. My thing is, if this woman was willing to write or disclose enough of her experience over the course of a decade to the point where it amounted to 35 pages, she was willing to share all that. Cross-examination, not to say it would be nothing because it would totally pull and tug on your emotions. Cross-examination can turn pretty evil, especially towards the victim. I feel like I think that Diddy was trying to call her bluff. You're not going to go to the public with this. Who's going to believe you over me? And she actually tested his bluff. You know, that's just my opinion. I am more than open to what everybody else thinks about this. Comment down below whether you're in the live chat or if you're chasing the bus, which means you are watching the replay. Comment down below what you think about it and what your opinions are. Keep it sticky, keep it real, but most importantly, keep it respectful. Okay, so let's get into this settlement, all that it entails. New York Times is the one who broke this story. You know, I have a lot of love and respect for the New York Times because they are the ones who mentioned me when I did an impeccable job covering the R. Kelly trial. Yes, I'm going to pat myself on the back anytime and toot my own horn whenever I can, because covering court cases is something that I really do enjoy to do. All right. So I do want to give you a trigger warning. I'm unsure the stuff that was within the paperwork earlier this morning was extremely, it was shocking. It was unexpected. It reminded me of another trial that I've covered before, and it was totally disgusting and deplorable. But we're going to get into this settlement, what they disclosed, what they didn't disclose, both of their statements, because as you can tell by the title, both of them have released statements. So come on in, hit thumbs up. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Let's get ready for take off. Okay, has everyone paid their fare and hit the thumbs up button, because that's totally a requirement. You don't have to send a Cash App or a super chat. All I ask is that you pay your fare because you are on my bus. Put in your token, which is hitting that dag-on like button, okay? Let's pull off and let's get into the meat and bones and gravy of all of this. Let's go. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. Oh, I'm so sick right now. The mucus is crazy. I'm on my third cup of Theraflu for the day. So real quick, I hope that y'all are feeling all right. Mental health is important. I always place this at the beginning of my videos. If you haven't had time to look into your mental health, your invisible issues, you have no business getting into and dibbling and dabbling into celebrities and all of their problems. Handle your stuff. Click off this video. It'll be here when you handle what's going on in your life. Shout out to the new subscribers. And of course, before I get into today's topics and viral events, make sure you subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I do really appreciate it, even if you hit thumbs down. But don't forget to think critically. I know you're not picking at that chair. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But don't forget to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Now let's get right into it. So let's go straight into our article from the New York Times. Okay. We're going to get into this. And thank you all for being here. There are 400 people in here so far. We haven't even been in here for 15 minutes. Can we get more people to hit the thumbs up button? It's free. I bring y'all this information. I've been on the clock. This is my third time being live today about this topic. This is my fourth time being live today in general, but about this topic, this is my third time being live. Like, I am dedicated to this. I'm drawn to this story because it reminds me of other stories that I've covered. And I know it's heavy and I know it's intense, but I found that with all of you all's feedback, you all enjoy the way that I bring it to you, because yes, it is heavy. Yes, the details are just completely egregious, but I bring it to you in a way where we have pockets of lightheartedness. And we, you know, it's not as heavy as when other people cover it, right? It's something about my personality and my delivery. I can't even put my finger on it. But I'm bringing you this stuff because I feel like y'all deserve, we deserve, all of us deserve. So hit the thumbs up button, and I greatly appreciate that. Let's get into this article, okay? Cassie settles lawsuit accusing P. Diddy of gRAPE and abuse. So the R&B singer Cassie and Diddy did not disclose the terms of the settlement, which came one day after Cassie filed an explosive complaint. So we're definitely going to get into this. P. Diddy and the singer Cassie have reached a settlement just one day after she filed an explosive lawsuit accusing P. Diddy of gRAPE and numerous instances of physical abuse. Now, the parties announced on Friday evening that they reached an agreement to resolve the case though they disclosed no details about the terms of the settlement. So here's a quote from Cassie. She says, quote, "I've decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, my fans, my lawyers for their unwavering support." Now, in a statement that Diddy released, he said, quote, "We've decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love," end quote. Now, for P. Diddy, the settlement quickly shuts down what could have been a risky and potentially embarrassing process of legal discovery in which reams of evidence are made public and a possible trial. And for Cassie, who has already aired her accusations through the public complaint, avoids a cross-examination by P. Diddy's attorneys in a lawsuit that drew international attention, and it definitely did. It totally drew international attention. Okay. Cassie, who signed to Diddy's label in 2005 when she was just 19 years old and dated him for about a decade, accused Diddy of what she said was years of beatings, controlling behavior, various forms of sexual abuse, including a gRAPE. In response, a lawyer for Diddy, that being Ben Brafman, or Brafman, should I say, said that Diddy denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. Okay, but y'all reached a settlement, and I guarantee you that because the number was 30 million, I guarantee you that settlement wasn't no $3 million. But okay. Now, a lot of the stuff we know, but I'll just go ahead and read these things just so that you can get a synopsis. But if you really want to hear, if you truly want to hear the entirety of the court documents, check out the first video that I did on this, which was the video I did around like 6-7 o'clock this morning. And I've marked the different chapters so you can see when the court documents start. It's around the 57-minute mark of that video where the court documents start. If you want to hear word for word what those court documents state and allege. Pretty egregious. Definitely got to give you a trigger warning, okay? Because it's heavy and crazy. But if you want to hear all of the 35 pages for yourself, you can. I've read all of those things, all right? And I'm sick. But let's get back into this and let's get into the synopsis that the New York Post has drafted up. Now, according to Cassie's suit, says the New York Times, which was filed on Thursday in federal district court in Manhattan, P. Diddy assaulted her numerous times, leaving her bloodied and bruised. She said his employees sometimes took her to hotel rooms for days to recover out of the public eye. In one of the suit's more disturbing allegations, Cassie said that for years she was forced to participate in sexual encounters with a succession of male prostitutes. As P. Diddy watched, as he masturbated and recorded videos. Who does that sound like? I won't plant too much in your head. I said what I had to say earlier and who I feel like he's similar to. As P. Diddy masturbated and watched. Now, according to the lawsuit, P. Diddy called these events freak-offs. Absolutely, he did call them freak-offs. And they took place in a number of high-end hotels throughout the United States. Now, according to Cassie's suit, P. Diddy controlled nearly every aspect of her life, paying for her homes, car, clothes, and other necessities, and even had access to her personal medical records. And I was speaking about that earlier. I think I put in the initial title that I did about this story, HIPAA violations. Or I might have had to take it out because you only get 100 characters. But these are HIPAA violations. He was able to pay medical professionals off and convince them to go against the code that they agreed to follow to don't give her medical records to her, email them directly to me. Now, according to Cassie's suit, P. Diddy controlled nearly, wait a minute. Every aspect of her life, homes, cars, Okay, so the lawsuit says that Cassie never went to the police because she feared it would, quote, merely give Diddy another excuse to hurt her, end quote. So P. Diddy, who started Bad Boys in 1993, became one of the most powerful and successful figures in the hip hop industry, working with stars like Notorious B.I.G. and Mary J. Blige. Remember, I brought her up earlier today in the last live when I did my follow-up video. This is my third video about this. The second video I did about this earlier today, I brought up Mary J. Blige. Check it out if you haven't already. So Diddy started Bad Boys 2003, became one of the most powerful and successful figures in the hip hop industry, working with stars like Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and working with stars, and helping to transform rap music and culture into a global pop phenomenon and major business. Still, his rise to fame has been dotted with allegations of violence, including that he and his bodyguards beat a rival music executive, Steve Stout, with a champagne bottle and other items. Last year, Diddy received a Lifetime Achievement honor at the BET Awards, and in September, he was given the Global Icon Award at MTV's Video Music Awards. Now, even with the settlement, however, the damage to P. Diddy's reputation and legacy just may be substantial. In the days since Cassie's suit was filed, past allegations of violence and abuse have been resurfaced, and various musicians have publicly signaled their support for Cassie. So in a statement, Douglas Wigder, who is a lawyer for Cassie, said, quote, "I'm very proud of Cassie for having the strength to go public with her lawsuit. She ought to be commended for doing so," end quote. So that is the end of the article. And I want to know what you think. Do me a favor. I'm kind of in limbo with thinking if I should open the phone lines or not for this. It's been 22 minutes. We've gotten through pretty much all that there is to know about the settlement. We'll never know how much she got. She might have got 15 million. She might have got 20 million. I know damn well she ain't getting no 3 million. It was a $30 million thing. She ain't walking away with 3. Okay. So we went over a lot of stuff in the last video, such as suspicions. And I have another video I'm dropping about Diddy, New York. And that's all I'll say. Because I caught wind that people have been stealing my terminology and my ideas when it comes to this whole situation, which is strange. And these are people that literally have over 200,000 subscribers. Like, why are you stealing my talking points and my terminology? Like, why? But that's a whole nother thing. Should I open the phone lines? Put an 8 in the chat if I should open the phone lines. Put a 9 if I shouldn't. Let me know. Let me know. But I do have more information, although I was talking to somebody on the phone before I came on here, and they said, "Oh no, I was hoping this would last. If they settled, then it's over. I thought that you were going to be able to stretch this out." And it's like, it's not even about me stretching it out or milking it. This is the civil aspect of it, but the criminal aspect of it is still kind of weird. It's still weird. And I have some information that until I truly digest it and I can recite it forwards and backwards, I won't make the video. But that's all I'm going to say, because I don't have time for people stealing my ideas. So that is that. $30 million from that's not listed. Where are we getting the $30 million from that was not listed in the prayer relief? That is a really good question. Somebody said Trey Songz is next. I heard Trey Songz is next. I heard Kevin Hart is next. I don't know. Show me some paperwork or substantiate what it is that you claim, and I just may present it after I look into it and sit on it. But that's that. So it looks like I do see some 9s, right? But I also see a lot of 8s. I'll open the phone lines for a very brief moment and to see what you all think. I think the last The last video was really important. Not that the first video wasn't, and not that this one isn't, but the last video that I did about it was really important. I feel like it was very crucial. Has everyone hit the thumbs up button? We've got 400 people here and just 270 likes. Can we show some love? Are we not appreciative? Are we freeloaders? I'm not asking you to pay a cable bill, babes. Just asking you to hit the like button. And if you want to hit the dislike button, hit that. Hit it. Just hit one of them damn buttons. All right. So let me go ahead and open the phone lines. I do have a couple of other thoughts. I wanted to come on here real quick because I was just at the point where I was getting tired, and I said, you know, I got just the right amount of energy to go live about this. So I'll bounce some of my thoughts off of a couple of the callers if people do call in. Okay. I do have some other thoughts, but they escape me right now because, again, it's 1:45 over here in Baltimore. Okay. The first time I went live today, I believe it was like 5:30 in the morning. I went live at 5:30 in the morning this morning. I was live for a little over 2 hours. I went live again, and now we're like, so I've been on this all day. So I'm tired, but I'm also invested. And I also like covering court cases like this. And not only do I feel like it's my strength, but a lot of you feel like it's my strength. This is the most compliments I've gotten about my presentation and the way that I bring information and present information, honestly, in a long time. So I'm totally receptive to that. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for you all to call in. Probably only take 5 calls and we're going to be done. So with that being said, and we were behind the paywall earlier today. So if you're interested in some of the stuff, if you are familiar with we had like a really raggedy visitor in the last video. And so we roasted and we dragged them behind the paywall after the last live. So if you want to catch that, you definitely can. It's already back there behind the paywall if you do become a member. And we are behind the paywall quite frequently now that I'm out of my depression, So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to play this. Channel members, drop your special emojis. If you're not a channel member, go ahead and just drop some pancakes. I'm going to drop the phone line so that people can call in. I'm only going to be taking 5 calls, and that's going to be it. So make sure you've got good internet. All right. And let's just see where you all land with this. Okay. Okay. Thank y'all so much. And most importantly, hit that damn like button. Stop playing with me. Don't make me pull this buzz over and kick you off, because I will. I absolutely will. Okay. But thank you all for being here, and let's get into dropping this phone line.
thePLAINESTjane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me, or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out? So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with thePLAINESTjane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm thePLAINESTjane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, black news, black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with thePLAINESTjane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, It's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me. All right, act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods and the plainest Jane is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
Buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
it's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, Black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right, now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. All right, and we are back. Let's get into our callers. Our first caller of the night, Danny T. Welcome on. You are live. Oh, wait a minute. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. Hey, Danny, thank you so much for calling in. You are live on the air. What are your thoughts about this story and situation?
Hey, Jane. Hey, Stickies. Hey, chat. So listen, I really feel like the story is going to stay big for a while. So I'm really glad that you're covering it from the very beginning. I feel like there were, and I hope you feel better. And oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Leo. And what?
You see, he right back there. He right back there at the door.
I see his ear. Hey, Leo. I feel like this, I'm glad you're covering it from the very beginning because I feel like the story is just going to get bigger. First of all, I feel like Cassie had lots of people ready to testify, that was a loaded package of information. And it not only named Diddy as the aggressor, but all of the labels, the companies, and the staff. It was bigger than just Diddy, right? And then I feel like there were some of the male sex workers, ex-workers, who were ready to testify. And that may still come, if they had ever been mistreated, they may still come with their own lawsuit. And I love the fact that there are Black women celebrities that have already removed Diddy's information from their pages, unfollowed him, and are standing with Cassie. So I'm for this. I feel like there needs to be a brand new level of accountability in order to keep our artists and our Black excellence, those who are displaying and trying to work and bring it forth, to keep them safer at just more safer in their work and in their business interactions. And I was with you. I mean, I didn't watch it until this morning. I was asleep. You know, I love to watch you in the middle of the night too, but I was asleep and I watched it this morning and I was shaking my head. I had to pause it. I couldn't believe that she was brave enough to detail all of that. And especially the freak-offs and the drug addiction and her rehabilitation process. Whoo, y'all. So that's all I wanted to say, and how much, we're so happy you're back.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Let me ask you this. The settlement, right? Do you think that it was because Diddy felt more scared or that his career or reputation was threatened? And do you think that that's why he caved with the settlement, or he felt like it would be in his best interest to settle? Or do you think that Cassie felt scared or threatened and that her safety or the information or the pressure of being cross-examined was enough. Because with Diddy, one of the things about him being scared is for her to have a 35-page court document, she had to have felt like she had a great amount of evidence. And again, her attorney is the attorney that took Harvey Weinstein down. And so between the evidence and the legal discovery of going through all of that evidence with everything that incriminates Diddy, all of that will become public too. So who do you feel like was more scared or threatened that really moved the needle that said, okay, let's settle? Do you feel like Cassie was threatened or backed into a corner by Diddy, which wouldn't, Diddy threatens a lot of people?
Yeah, I feel like from the information of who she was suing, Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, Epic Records, Combs Enterprises, Doe Corporation, 1 through 10. I mean, like, she named a bunch, and that would have made the staff that interacted with her culpable as well. So I feel like it was the entire industry probably saying, you have no other choice, because that's enough. It would be like a domino effect. It's enough to take all of them down. You've been mistreating people. You've been abusing people. You've been harassing people. You've been coercing people in order to practice their art. Are you serious? So I don't think he had a choice. I think other people were like, oh, no, you're going to have to settle this. And I really feel she had a loaded gun, Jane. She had a loaded gun. She had people ready to testify that was going to be like the nail in the coffin for him. Hi, Leo, you get cheats. I'm going to give you some money for new cheats, Leo. Here you go.
Yeah, I think that, you know what, though, even though this has been settled, I've already seen some people saying she's a sellout. She wants money. Why does she want money? Because money can't take away that experience. Neither can go on. If he went to jail on a criminal aspect, that wouldn't take away the experience either. The point is to have him suffer in one way, shape, or form.
Wouldn't it be smart, though, for her to get the money now before the criminal cases start, too?
Yeah, and before other victims get in there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about making your aggressor or your abuser suffer. You can't always make them suffer with a lifetime in prison, especially when there's somebody when it's somebody like him. Hell, R. Kelly never thought he was seated inside of a jail cell, but he settled a lot of shit outside of court, and he had to pay for it, which can be pretty annoying. So people acting like, oh, she's only doing it for money. If you went through something and you couldn't get somebody in jail, you mean to tell me you wouldn't take dozens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars if you could out of their pockets just to inconvenience them based on what they put you through?
Oh, yeah, that's a power move.
Yeah,
getting your look power move Cassie did.
Yeah, getting your look back can look a lot of different ways. It's, how they say it's more than one way to skin a Leo. Getting your look back is not always actually hitting them back. They might have hit you. In this case, he actually hit her. Can she actually get her quote unquote lick back by hitting him back? No. Can she get her lick back by making sure he ends up in jail? She's unsure, and it seems to be quite unlikely, and she understands that. But can she inconvenience him in a monetary way? However, you can make somebody who has fucked with you uncomfortable and made you uncomfortable. However, you can make them uncomfortable. That's what you do. So people be acting like, oh, well, if somebody mistreated you, if you're not going to ask for justice or jail time, then don't ask for money. I can ask for justice and jail time. But it's clear that he has so many connections that the jail time may probably did we not just see the mistrial with the guy who went into Breonna Taylor's home?
Yeah.
He's not going to be held accountable in a way in which he's seeing the inside of a jail cell. Does that mean that Breonna Taylor?
Nothing about it, Jane. He's tainted forever. She didn't say what she said wasn't true. She just said she has power. She said she's in control. And to me, that's more hurtful to him than anything, because he's so used to holding the power. But now she has the power because she spoke her truth. And she has the legal team to continue to protect her and secure her interest. So he can try and come back at her if he wants to. He better be wishing her love and light, okay? Because he want to try and keep her calm and not upset, because this can open back up.
It can, and especially because when we saw the initial article about how he was allegedly a suspect of a secret investigation by the NYPD, they were saying that they were looking for additional victims too.
Exactly.
So how do you go from he's the subject of a secret investigation, we're looking for additional victims as well, and then you recant it all the way to there's no investigation at all? Like, no. How did you just make up that you were looking for additional victims, right? And you couldn't say whether it was Cassie or not. It could have been anybody.
It wasn't supposed to be leaked, because remember, they said the investigation was on the hush hush and they couldn't talk about it. And so whoever leaked it is why I think NYPD came and said, oh no, that's not true. Because in order to conduct the investigation properly, they need to let Diddy know, well, we ain't even looking at you, so keep doing what you're doing. And that's another thing, that he is going to stop doing what he's doing for a minute. He got to lay low. Let him. And in this morning's video, when you were saying that you had to hold up the bus because you had to go and bang on somebody's door and wake her up and tell her, get her stuff.
Like, girl, get out of there. She didn't care. I'm like, I'm being late.
I was cracking up. I said, Jane said she had to hold the bus up.
Come on. And Andre and Kelly trying to dance in my face with that craziness. I'm like, girl, not today. I'm praying for Cassie. I'm trying to rescue Carisha. I'm trying to go through this paperwork. I don't got time for you, Andre. Sit down with that crazy dancing. Can't do it. It's too much.
Yes, eyes wide open. And I'm proud of her too. It takes a lot to tell that level of truth. That level of truth. I mean, it was damaging for her to say that I slept with, male sex workers for over 10 years in order to please a man. I mean, like, that takes a lot to say and to do. Yeah, and so I know her team is behind her. Her husband is, her family, her friends, and Janet Jackson is behind her. A couple of other celebrities are behind her. But she got Janet behind her. I feel like, Diddy got to go sit down somewhere.
Not only does, when you think about, and it's just something, when you think about her being coerced or forced into having intimate relations with these male prosties, right? I call prostitutes prosties. And if they had to put Astroglide and baby oil, they had to make sure they were all lathered up and make sure the rooms.
And his staff did that. His staff set up the rooms.
The fact of the matter is, if they're using baby oil and Astroglide, those things deteriorate condoms. It doesn't work well with condoms.
It wasn't none.
So that means there was no protection. Imagine how all of the impurities, let's just say it that way, but you get what I'm saying. All that she opened herself up to with that.
She said she had to have an IV. She used to have to go on an IV drip for days.
An IV drip is one thing, but I'm talking about STDs and STIs.
I bet you it had some infection medicine in there too, and that's why he was monitoring her medical appointments and the HIPAA violations, trying to make sure she stayed clean. He a dirty dog. He a dirty, dirty, dirty dog. Thank you so much for reporting this. Thank you so much for all of the information you provided us. And shout out to you. I didn't know that you had been mentioned in the New York Times. You go, girl. You go, girl.
Stop.
Put them claps, put them pancakes in the chat. This is our girl, y'all.
I am terrible at accepting compliments. I just sit and be like, thank you. I'm so terrible at accepting compliments. I really am. There's a lot of people like, oh, it makes you feel gratifying. Well, I'm like, I get awkward
because I didn't know that, you know, and I'm a brand new member. I think I've only been a member for a couple of months. And if y'all not a member, our membership videos are like that. We chat. And I just appreciate you and Leo so very much. And I'm going to drop down and let the other callers come in and chat. And I'll be in the chat. And just thank you for doing what you're doing. I feel like it's just going to be months and months of information that's getting ready to fall out the woodworks.
It absolutely is. And thank you so much. I appreciate, and I'm so grateful for your support and viewership. Thank you so much. All right. So that was a good call. Let's get into our other callers. We had some other callers, but they dropped off. We do have another one back here. If you want to call in, like I said, I'm only taking 5. Some of them dropped off. I don't know if they had connection issues or just timing restraints. I'll drop the link a couple more times. And then we're going to get out of here when we get done with this. Okay. If you feel like there's anything that I've missed, if there are any points or even if you disagree, right, we can respectfully disagree. Be sure you call in or drop your thoughts down below in the chat, or even if you're chasing the bus, put them in the comments. Okay. We're going to get into our next caller. Our next caller, Jamal, drop some pancakes and welcome our next guest, and let's go. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. Jamal, what is going on? How are you feeling? You're live. What are your thoughts about this whole thing?
Nice to talk to you again. First of all, I just wanted to say, if I ever do start blogging, I'll definitely be copying off you because you and Lovely T are the GOAT. So, you know, everybody's gonna copy off you. Gender doesn't matter. But no, I was gonna say that there's 2 perspectives on doing. Number one, I won't lie, it's a bit of a letdown that she settled. And one thing I wanted to bring up that, I mean, I understand why, because it's not. Neither one of them, I think, would want a long, drawn-out trial. But one perspective that Prasan Campbell brought up is that, because he's been a victim of this stuff, and I've been a victim of, you know, but that's a different context.
Prasan Campbell, oh my gosh, he is.
You should hear what he said. What he said was, like I agree with what he said. He believes Diddy did this stuff. Of course, he's a slime ball, and there's more shit that he did. But the issue that is frustrating is that, especially when it comes to these celebrities, it's like, even him, it's like, dang, why y'all take so long? Like, that's the issue, is that you take so long to do this and it takes the luster off of it. I mean, better late than never, but it's like, you know, again, I believe he did this scumbag. I just wish that, you know, because there's statute of limitations for criminal stuff, but I'm not trying to like victim blame or anything like that. So that's the only thing. But beyond that, I do understand why she settled, because it's when somebody like Diddy or somebody with that much money, you never know what could happen at trial. So, you know, better to get something than nothing. And again, I believe more people are going to come forward, or perhaps somebody, one of the higher powers that be, must have told him, hey man, you know, you better settle this, whatever. So that's what I wanted to say. But other than that, I'm happy this got reported on. And to be honest with you, like I said, not only just with Cassie, but other stuff too. I thought this kind of stuff would have come out a long time ago, because like I said, he been had rumors about this kind of stuff. And there's more stuff that he did. So I just wish all of this came out a long time ago. But like I said, I guess it's better late than never. But I'm just hoping that I'm hoping nothing worse happens. I'm hoping that, you know, justice is served, and that other people who've been victimized by him, which there's a ton, they get their day in court too. So, and we don't know what is going to happen with the criminal thing.
Okay. Okay, so let me do this. Let me share the definition of this word. You said, why do you wait so long? It's like the luster has been taken off of it.
A bit. I'm not victim shaming or anything like that.
It's okay. So the definition of luster is a gentle sheen, a soft glow, especially that of a partly reflective surface, a thin coating containing unoxidized metal, which gives, these are pleasant words. So when you say, why don't y'all women report abuse sooner than later? It takes the luster off of it. There is no luster attached to the abuse that you endure by an abuser. There is no luster. So, sometimes I think that men, because they've never been, and there are some men who are victims of DV. Let me go ahead and acknowledge that.
Hey, I was molested as a kid too. That's all I'm saying. I meant the luster of coming after them. That's what I meant, not the luster of what he did.
There's no luster of going after them either. Addressing your abuser, your aggressor. There's nothing pleasant or soft about that as well. The definition of luster is all things that are soft and pleasant. So sometimes I feel like some men who don't really understand the intense trauma and how you relive those things, even when you speak about it, they use certain words because it sounds good to them. And it's like, why do you wait so long? I was reading the statement, the caption of Cassie's husband, of him running some walk, running 50 miles to support a domestic violence shelter, because not only is he married to a woman who experienced intense domestic violence, allegedly, he also said that his mother had dealt with domestic violence. And even though he had never experienced domestic violence, based on that caption, reading the way he spoke about it and how it affected him, it made me tear up, because I have experienced domestic violence before, physical domestic violence, not verbal. Well, I mean, verbal abuse was included, but it definitely got physical. So it's difficult to put into words. It's difficult to put into words, and it's even difficult to sit down with your therapist and talk about what you've been through, because you are reliving this stuff. And if and when you come forward, why do people, especially people like Cassie in the public eye, wait so long to come out? Do you see all of the people trying to make Keke Palmer out to be the aggressor and Darius the victim? This is why public figures wait so long. And then some of those same behaviors trickle down to everyday people like you and me. I don't have Keke Palmer money. I don't have Diddy money, I don't have Cassie money. But when you come out, you'll have some men that bend over backwards to make it seem like you were wrong for experience of it. And it's embarrassing. Y'all, some men from the outside looking in, they feel like, oh, you should have spoke out the day or the year or the month that it happened. There is a level of shame and embarrassment that
it takes. You have to get everything together. It
is embarrassing. So as many people that show up, you're so strong, you're so brave at your core, when you're laying in bed every night, when you're taking showers, when you're cooking your meals, you still feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
And you've experienced that. And then especially as a celebrity, or whether you are a celebrity or you're attached to a celebrity, and whoever was doing the abusing, the public is going to find out about this and flip it whichever way. Who wants everybody sorting through their stuff? It's ridiculous. This is the reason why a lot of people don't want to go through cross-examination. Cross-examination can be
that's true.
And it can be brutal, right? And so just to give you a quick example as to how crucial, I have a very close family member who was physically abused when they were 3 at daycare, and I witnessed it. And they wanted to put the 3-year-old on the stand, and the attorney for our side was like, no.
Oh my God.
To tear your 3-year-old apart. Well, why did you stay? Well, why did you listen? Why didn't you run out the door? They will do that to 3-year-old victims. They will do that to 50-year-old victims. They will do that to 25, 30, 40, 50. It doesn't matter.
It's traumatizing every day.
Like crap. And that can reignite your trauma and reverse all of the healing that you may have done from the time it happened to the time you try to speak out. So the whole, why did you wait too long? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the Bill Cosby stuff. Oh, Bill Cosby back in 1921. I do side eye some of that.
Yeah, I get that. That's a different.
It's a case by case. But with Cassie, it's like there are very clear signs. I showed images of her injuries that lined up were directly congruent with her having a busted and a bruised lip and a swelling, a knot on her forehead, and so on and so forth. And I found the pictures, and not to mention, she never looked truly like happy or like she was leading the moment with Diddy. For God's sakes, she was 19 when she met this man, and he was 37. That's basically a 20-year difference. Oh, yeah. He's a predator.
My mom was 17.
Very intimidating. And so even when it comes to, let's just say, abusive parents or parents that ask you a question, but they don't really want the real answer. They want the answer that they want you to give. And you know what answer to give your abuser that's going to satisfy them. You've got people in their 30s and in their 40s who still can't look their parents in the face and say whether it was physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. You've got people who can't even look their parents in the face and say, I don't like this. I don't like when you make me feel like this, because they've just been so conditioned from a young age at that to not want to piss that person off. So for people who don't understand the long-lasting effects of trauma and grooming and love bombing and all of these other things, of course it's easy for them to say how long it takes. Let me ask you this. More men suffer from, especially if they've ever been incarcerated, but just in general, having gay sex or being the victim of gRAPE.
Right.
Men don't like to come out and say that. Why? Because they're embarrassed that they have been overcome by somebody else. Have you ever had a male friend come out and tell you that he's been overcome by somebody else? And his
not in jail. No, you can't do that.
But do you have friends who have been in jail?
I have lots of friends that's in jail, unfortunately.
Exactly. They're not going to come out and tell you that because they're embarrassed, because it's abuse. And especially man, but that's not to say that all of the guys that who have experienced that aren't gonna are gonna come out and say that. I guarantee you that at least 1, 2, or 3 of them have had a little bit of that, whether it had been through force or whether they were just sneak dicking because they just had a bone that they needed. It can be embarrassing when it's something that society just doesn't like. So that whole, why do you wait so long? She didn't wait 50 years, 60 years. She waited 8 to 10 years. And now and especially you got to think about the hold that he had on her. She was there for 10 years. Yeah. She only just got out 3 years ago. Y'all acting like she been out for a decade. She only just escaped about 3 or so years ago. It's not necessarily.
I really want to see Diddy go down. And so therefore, people are upset the statute of limitations ran out, and I'll never get a chance to face my abusers because they dead. So I guess people are projecting their frustration onto that. I think that's where because people really want to see men and women want to see this guy go down, and they're upset about the statute of limitations. I personally wouldn't care if he lost his money and she got the money and he went to jail at this point. And again, I'm not the type of dude that want to see other black men go to jail, but in the case like this, I mean, it's hard to argue against. So I guess that's where the frustration, but you brought up a good point. And the settling, why go through that cross-examination and then the industry make threats and threaten her family and all that? Like,
if it was your daughter who waited 7 years to come out and say something, let's just throw a number out there, 7 years. Mm-hmm. Would you be more concerned about how long she waited to say something, or would you be more concerned about this person being held accountable and justice being served?
You know what? I would never dare rush my daughter to do anything like that. I'm not going to lie to you. That's
my point. That's
I would rather
that's my
talk to
point.
you
When it
myself.
comes to people that that you care about, it's like people have this level of grace, but when it comes to celebrities, they have this extremely unrealistic expectation, like they're not human, or like they don't have any fear, or like they should have gone out. And if any, even I have a fear. I get recognized out in public every now and then, and it can be kind of, it can be a little scary. It can be a little scary. So imagine what these celebrities are going through. Why did it take Kiki so long to file paperwork? She didn't want the public reading through her crap, but eventually it got so bad that she's like, you know what? The public might find out that I'm filing a restraining order, but I got to do this. That's what took Kiki so goddamn long. Her reputation. Krishan, that's not a good example. Krishan is used to having people in her business, right? But if you've got a celebrity and they've got a career that's worth a damn to protect, they're not in a rush to just go to the courthouse because they know that the blogs and the media and everybody's going to get a hold of it, which makes it even more embarrassing. You're adding insult to injury. You're adding salt to that wound.
Yeah.
So yes, celebrities wait a little longer to come out, especially women, because they're ashamed. People are working double, triple, and quadruple time to prove that Kiki was the aggressor with this Darius situation. I can only imagine how she feels. I can only imagine. It's clear that Darius is manipulating. His brother has been abused, women that he's been in a relationship with. His mother has a long-standing protective order against his dad. It's just a family full of abusers, and they know how to strategically and skillfully manipulate the women that they are dealing with. And so Kiki just didn't want that out in the public. She's got a whole career out here. It can feel embarrassing. A victim shouldn't have to feel embarrassed, but victims feel embarrassed all the time. It's not. Most people will say you're brave, but the victim is not feeling like they're being brave. They feel like everybody's in my business and they know I've been slapped up, choked up, bruised up, putting makeup over my stuff. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
But so, like I said, I never got to
hide it for as long as possible.
I understand, but I'm just, I shouldn't have said it like that. I'm just frustrated because by the time I even got to upper teenage years, my abusers already was dead. They got killed already. So I never got a chance to even see them. And my mom, I kind of got bust out. My mom picked up on it and was like, and jumped on it right away. So that's how. That's the reason why it wasn't that situation with me. If you want to know, it's because I didn't. And Hassan. Now I think Hassan Campbell's one. I guess that's why Hassan Campbell said that, because he regrets waiting too long to go at Bambaataa. And again, when you're a dude, it looks worse. So the irony is, it's more men.
What Bambaataa do to him? I'm not really too familiar. I know what Hassan looked like. He looks like a buff kangaroo, in my opinion. I've seen a couple of his viral clips. But I don't like follow. I know he's got just a bit of an off the wall personality. He reminds me of like a different version of an academics a little bit, but just a bit more
aggressive and manly.
A little bit, yeah. Who's the guy? What you said? Bambaataa. What Bambaataa do to him? He gives
booty goon vibes. That's what he does. He gives booty goon vibes.
He took his butt.
Huh?
What did he do? He took his butt? Did he take his butt?
Well, Africa Bambaataa has been known because they took him out of the hip hop museum. No, he got molested by Bambaataa for years. But the reason he gets clowned is because of how he said it. He said he thighed me, but then he kept going back. Yeah, Ann has it right. And then he kept going back. And then they showed a picture of him and Bambaataa standing next to each other when he looked grown. And so he got roasted. And so now he took out his rage on the whole industry. So that's why he's judging Cassie, because he's basically, I can tell, he's trying to live through Cassie. But yeah, African Bambaataa did take us, but in African Bambaataa, other people have said the Zulu nation is weird, but he's powerful. They're covering up, and he's walking around the Bronx like nothing. But they took him off the hip hop museum because of the accusations that he's been a child. He's a Chester, as they say.
Damn.
So, this whole industry's sick. So how hip hop starts is how it ends, and so that's how hip hop started. But
damn.
But yeah, I mean, so that just to let you know, that's the reason why he said what he said and I said what he said, because I didn't get a chance. My abusers were dead, and he was He was pussy. He was scared of Bambaataa. And he was scared of the Zulu Nation.
Is the what's his name? Bambaataa? Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
How long did it take Hassan to speak up about it?
Way too long. Number one, the day he spoke up about it, that's how his whole channel got started. And people were like, when did he do this? And then he named the age, and people started calculating, and then pictures started resurfacing. They're like, hold on, you weren't just a little boy. You kept seeing him again and again and again in your upper teenage years, and then you look like you're grown and you're in a picture with this guy. But yet you keep talking about how he thighed you, and you crying about it, and you're getting all passive aggressive on everybody else and giving all these booty goon vibes and bragging how you shot this person and shot that person. And he has weird vibes, but
yeah, that's definitely giving projection. That's like somebody constantly smoking cigarettes, looking over to you saying, why are you still smoking cigarettes? Like, why they smoking in your face? Like, that's kind of crazy. You took a long time to do it too. Why are you shaming somebody else? I don't know. I'm not familiar with this, but shaming somebody that quote unquote took a long time to speak out. When Cassie has really just been a matter of a couple of years. She ain't been out for an eternity. She ain't been out for a decade.
It's just about the statute of limitations ran out. That's why they be upset. If there was no statute of limitations, that would be different. But that's the only thing. It's the statute of limitations. So people are thinking, oh, her money's running dry. Because this is what I'm saying. Other bodies said her money's running dry. So that's why she waited to say something, even though nobody disputes that Diddy actually did. Only Willie D is really questioning that part. But everybody else is saying, well, we believe Diddy did this. We just think Cassie had ulterior motives because she waited too long and the industry's not messing with her. And so therefore, when her money got low, that's when she decided, I'm going to hit this dude up.
My thing is, why do people act like two things can't be true? Let's just say she is broke and her money's running dry. Does that mean she still shouldn't pursue this? Does that mean she should have went to court asking for $100,000 or something crazy? Oh, I'm not saying Diddy didn't do it, but I'm saying, her motive. If he did this, he needs to be inconvenienced in one way or another. It seems to be clear as far as we can see. We can't see past the smoke because it's real foggy right now. This is an extremely foggy situation, especially what's going on NYPD. There's a secret investigation. We're looking for more victims. There's no investigation. And if there was an investigation, nobody should have told you about the investigation. Very foggy situation. Did he pay somebody off? Are they trying to cover their asses by saying, duh, this was a secret thing? Why did you leak this? Did they fire an employee? Was an employee zooted out of their mind or too new and shared this with TMZ? Who knows? But it's just a foggy situation altogether. Like
it is. Yeah, I'll never know. But anyway, I'll get off there and let somebody else call in.
Woo, this was interesting. I saw some people in the chat. They knew what you would tell. See, I don't know about Hassan Campbell, but there were some people in the chat, lots of people in the chat who actually knew about it. So
yeah, and this is called spiritual warfare. I mean, a lot of this stuff is spiritual. So like, it's just demonic spirit. These people are sick. You just see it. Just put it together. You hear about Will Smith getting pounded, and his first movie came out like that. Then you hear about other people. Then you see this thing with it's starting to become clear that this is just
the Will Smith stuff isn't new though. The Will Smith 6 degrees of separation, old. The rumors about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin, old. And I haven't seen the whole 2-hour expose, but again, that's just like, that random alley cat coming out and saying, oh, did he be messing with boys? Will and Jada have an open relationship? Like, oh my gosh, she know what she talking about. She's seen it. Niggas been saying that shit for 3 decades now. Like, not saying nothing new. Like,
I mean, my older brother 20 years ago when he hung out with Diddy, he said that he found something weird. He's like, everywhere he's going, he was with J-Lo. He was with when he was because my brother used to be a big hustler. So Diddy used to go to him for protection. Pause, no pun intended. But because he doesn't use protection. But anyway, yeah. So I wasn't with him. He didn't do nothing to me. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute.
But yeah,
I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. You go to bed at night, you lay there, you take responsibility for yourself.
What?
Oh my bad. Oh man. But no, he was with J-Lo and he said Diddy kept yelling and snapping at her. But this one dude he just kept taking everywhere, even to the washroom. Everywhere he took with this guy. He took this guy with him. This dude named, I don't know if I should, his name is Mac. Let's just say that. But Diddy used to take him everywhere. And that's when my brother and his hustling partner was like, yo, this dude is kind of funny, man. We've been watching this dude. So but the way he was with J-Lo, he was really snappy. Of course, he didn't have the juice to. I think he did put hands on her, but he didn't. He couldn't. I don't know if he did all this, but he was really snappy at her. And I honestly, I think he has a hatred of women. I don't know, man, but that's what my brother told. The brother told me when he used to hang around him, and he said at his parties, like it was weird stuff going on. But he said he spent time with him, and it was this one dude Diddy took everywhere, and he was closer to him than J-Lo was to him. Him and J-Lo would sit in the car together with their friends, and they'd be talking, and she'd be like, I don't know what this guy is doing. He's with this guy all the time. I don't know what they're doing. He's closer to this guy than he is with me. So, so I wanted to spill that tidbit.
Well, I can't say it's hard to believe. I can't say it's hard to believe at all.
But anyway, yeah, let me get off before I end up saying too much more stuff. But yeah.
What else you got to say? I mean, spill it. You know, this is a safe space. It's okay. You can get comfortable.
There's other guys involved, like people from 112 that he was doing weird stuff to too, but supposedly.
Oh, peaches and cream, allegedly. Okay. He needed because he know that he's a fiend.
Oh yeah, for men's thing. Anyway.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I'm acting like I'm hearing some new shit. I ain't hearing nothing new that is difficult for me to believe. This falls in line with everything that we've heard since at least I was in middle school. So
yeah. But anyway, well, thanks for taking my call. I'll let the other calls come in.
No problem. Thank you so much for calling in. Have an amazing weekend, okay?
You too.
All right, bye-bye. Child, what is going on? What's happening out here? Somebody said, come on, Don P. Jr. Those of y'all who know who Don P is, if you know, you know. This is something else. I say, what's really going on? Hold on. Thais said something earlier today. What Thais say? Thais said, save your hour. Thais, is you going live later today? I thought I saw that you had one at 10:30 my time zone. Because I definitely want to be there for you. I hate how I can't go back and just find a comment. Her deadline to file was next week. Yeah, it was. Dang, I missed the comment I wanted to grab. But Thais, you done? Why you done? Why you done, mother? Mother, why you done? What has happened? What has happened that you're done, mother? We need you to go live again this evening. We do. This is what we need. We need some education from you, mother. We need you. I need you to talk about this from your perspective. Okay? We need some education. Special education.
Education, special education, psychiatric medication, juvenile incarceration, emotional frustration, and premature extermination.
We need to hear from you, mother. I need to hear what you got to say. I'm trying to let loose. It's Friday. I'm done. It's 1:30 over here on my time zone. I know your time zone is a little bit behind mine. Mother, I need you to tell me what you think. Like I said, put a 1 in the chat if you think that. I'm going to put a poll on the community tab so we can see the official results. I saw most people putting 1 earlier, but I want to see the actual percentage. So when I end this live, I'm going to type out the question. Do you think that this settlement happened because Diddy was more scared or threatened? Because his career, his reputation was in danger, and the evidence within the legal discovery is going to become public and is going to, humiliate him and his legacy and all that he's worked for. You feel like he was more scared and that is what led to the settlement? Or do you feel like Cassie was more scared or threatened for her safety and apprehension with wanting to go into cross-examination? And she was kind of like cornered and felt uneasy as Diddy typically does. And that's what led to the examination. So put a 1 if you think Diddy was more scared or threatened. And he feels like it's the end of the road. A 1 if the settlement happened because Diddy was more scared or threatened. Or a 2 if you think it's because Cassie was more scared or threatened. This is what I want to know. And also, do you think that Diddy's career is ever going to recover? Do you think his reputation is ever going to recover from this nasty debacle? Because this definitely is an egregious and diabolical debacle. Okay. So these are the things that we're asking. A 1 if you think it was Diddy's fear that led to the settlement. A 2 if you think it was Cassie's fear that led to the settlement. I see more 1s than anything. I see some 1/2. Somebody put 1/2. A lot of people think it's Diddy. I tend to agree. If she's willing to come out with 35 pages, she ain't scared of nothing. Just like Aubrey O'Day, she ain't scared of nothing. She been speaking out for years, and she been calling everybody too, and posting it in her Instagram, stories. Let me make sure I'm saying her name right, y'all. She's the one that I paid the least attention to in that group, Aubrey. I'd be confused as to whether I should say Aubrey or Audrey. Aubrey ain't never been scared. But I'm like, for Cassie to come out with a 35-page document, and this was written with some factualness, but it was also written with a little pettiness and sass. Here's the part that I'll bring back up in the paperwork, right? I'm gonna put it on the screen for y'all. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, baby, what you waiting for? What is it that we're waiting for if you haven't already hit the thumbs up button? This is the part that helped me understand that they're going for the jugular with this. They were getting smart. They weren't even just, Here we go. In 2022, P. Diddy received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. During his acceptance speech, P. Diddy stated, quote, "I have to give a special shout out, thank you, love to the people that was really here for me." He named a number of people before adding, and also, I want to give a special thank you to Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love. End quote. And then the paperwork goes on to say, the truth, however, is that Cassie was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. So he up there talking about, yeah, Cassie held me down. The paperwork said, well, my defendant was actually held down. I said, oh, baby, they're going for it. They're doing it. They're doing it. And I'm okay with that. I like that. I like that. They were going for it. And I mean, sometimes you have to. You got to speak to the hearts of whoever might be reading the paperwork. It could come down to, a judge and a jury, and you have to really speak to, playing with your words in that way. That was something else, but I think it was a very well-written 35-page document. Clearly, it was well-written. They reached a settlement, all right? She released a statement saying, I reached a settlement, and I have a sense of control over this situation. if the settlement was sitting up there around the realms about 30 million, she got at least half, or I would say at least half or 3/4 of that. That's my prediction. How much do you think she really got? How much do y'all think that Cassie got from this settlement? We pretty much will never know. But how much do you think? Because you know you're supposed to shoot for the sky so that you can land at a star or at least the top of a tree. But this stuff was so egregious that, you know. So I have somebody in my Discord that says that her legal team was strategic. They never said a dollar amount. That was his team. They never put it in the complaint. They didn't give the complaint to the blogs. They gave it to the New York Times and the Washington Post. And then they shut the hell up. And they let the chips fall where they may. Why? Because they had the facts on their side and they knew it. And for that, I applaud them. She survived Diddy. So there are a lot of different thoughts. I want to know what you all think about it. And mind you, she did not state $30,000 in the complaint. I read the whole 35 pages. I even searched for 30. You know, you can search your PDFs for certain numbers, and she never listed the amount herself. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this plays out, if either one of them ever utters a word about one another ever again. I think that it is going to be interesting to see how Carisha moves from here. You know, some feel like it's a win for Cassie. You know, she got her story out there. He's destroyed, essentially, even if she may never be able to discuss the terms of the settlement agreement. She told her truth, and she might still write a book. My thing, I feel like Diddy is throwing money at her because he just wants it to disappear, because that's how he's used to things going for him. And a lot of rich people, that's just kind of how they behave, or people within power that they can abuse. And I think he feels like that this is going to go away, but I think it's a bit too late. I think it's a bit too late for this to go away. You might have paid her off, but baby, the blogs ain't ever going to forget. Cassie ain't ever got to utter a word about a thing anymore. But the internet, they ain't never going to forget. The way the internet simply heard about this lawsuit, and then we had like 8 dozen of different clips and accounts of how diabolical and manipulative and narcissistic you can be, Diddy. Everybody pulled them. Everybody remembered all of the other accounts of how crazy and rude you have been, all the way down to threatening Kimora Lee Simmons. Come on, man. I think it's a bit too late, and you thought you could save this. But hey, he denied all of the stuff and said it was a shakedown. But at the end of the day, he paid out. And you know damn well he paid out more than half. If they were able to take Harvey Weinstein down, a white man with privilege, What do you think that they could do to Diddy? What do you think that they could do to Diddy? So Kimora Lee Simmons did speak out today. I went in depth and read the threat that and how it is that Diddy threatened Kimora. I went into all of that in the second video earlier today. So I've done 3 videos on this altogether. All 3 of those videos have been done today within the last 24 hours. So I've really been on this story. It would definitely be worth it for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I'm still working on this. This is not over by any means. There's still things lurking around, and I do firmly believe myself that Diddy is still shaking in his boots, which is why I think that he is one of the many reasons that he settled. But even though he settled this one thing, I do believe he is still shaking in his boots. This is just New York. There is no statute of limitations in California when it comes to what he did over there. And there was an array of different homes that he had. So I don't know what New York has going on, if they had an officer that leaked secret information that they weren't supposed to leak, if they just lied about having an investigation, but California is watching. And please believe that they've got prosecutors and district attorneys and everything who are watching and waiting to make sure that they are, because this stuff was happening across state lines. Diddy don't just got one house. He don't just have two. He lives in several different places, and California is one of those places. So they're watching and they're learning. They're learning based off of the mistakes that the NYPD is making. Whatever's going on with the NYPD, we don't know what the final card that they're going to draw is, but they've clearly made a mistake. Whether it had been dishing the fact that he was the subject of an investigation, they didn't want it public and somebody leaked it, or whether they're not investigating him and somebody lied, or whether they aren't able to really understand fully what their policy is. California is watching, and California is up next. And if you were an attorney over there in California watching what's going on over there in New York, you would damn sure be trying to make sure you could nail him to catapult your career to the next level. If you're able to take down a Sean Puffy Combs, you're set for life. It's no different than the prosecutors who took down R. Kelly. You take down a high-profile person like that, people remember your name forever. And those people are salivating at the opportunity to take a Puffy down if they're not afraid that they're going to wake up dead tomorrow, or that he's going to be able to manipulate them some way or somehow or ruin their life. So it seems he's able to buy a lot of people out or buy a lot of people off. There's so many different theories to this situation. But, you know, Stickies, I pass the question off to you. This is breaking news. This is breaking information brought to you by none other than moi, Jane, the plainest Jane. And I had to get up in the middle of the night and give y'all this information. If it wasn't for me having to wake up on the couch in the middle of the night and go use the little girl's room, I wouldn't have been able to bring y'all this information. I would have woke up tomorrow at 8 o'clock and been late giving y'all this stuff after there have been a million videos. But I'm dedicated to giving y'all the information as soon as I get it. And this is a story that I'm dedicated to following. So I appreciate y'all presence. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate your support. I'm grateful for your viewership. And I want to know what you think down below in the comments. Whether you are in the chat right now, or whether you're chasing the bus and you are in the hard comments, I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts and where do you land with this situation? Don't forget to keep it sticky and real with me down below in those comments. Be sure to tag me in all of your favorite trending topics on Instagram and on Twitter. Please feel free to DM me with any stories that you want me to cover or any things that are adjacent to stories that I am already covering. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to check the community tab. Check out some of the previous videos if you aren't all the way caught up on exactly where we are with this. And I do think it's really imperative that y'all hear everything that went on in that paperwork when I read all 35 of those pages, 6 o'clock this morning. Go to the first video that I did this morning. Go to the 57-minute mark. I've already got the timestamps are there. So you'll be able to go through the chapters and listen to it. It's egregious. It's nasty. It's unimaginable. Again, according to Cassie, Diddy said to her, "What do you call your grandfather?" She said, "Pop Pop." Diddy said, "Call me Pop Pop." After they're already in a relationship and romantically involved and intimately involved. Huh? You want me to refer to you the way I refer to my grandfather? Yeah, okay.
Nigga, you gotta be ashamed of yourself, nigga. Real talk. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. All as you is.
It's too much. It's way too much.
This is a sick Negro.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking the community tab. If you are a channel member, if you want to become a channel member, check the community tab. When you do become a member, you'll be able to see all of the members only videos and you'll have access to those. Like I said, we definitely had to drag somebody about a few hours ago, but it's cool. Don't forget to do something to decompress this weekend. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on all of the topics and all of the different possibilities. This is a story that is so large and has so many moving parts that it leaves room for so much interpretation from any and everybody's perspective. So listen, make sure you subscribe, all right? And don't forget to thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. Just make sure you hit one of them buttons and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of this syrup, because you know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. Y'all be sure to drop some of them pancake emojis down below, and y'all say beautiful, black, and blessed until the next video. Deuces.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.